Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become. Hello and welcome to episode 304 on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. This week, I am going to start us off with our quote. This is by Dan Martell, and he's an author on productivity and leadership and personal development. And he said this: the future you is depending on the current you to keep the promises you made to yourself yesterday. So to unpack that a little bit, the future you, the person you want to become, the future you want to step into, the thing that you want to create, the result that you want to have, the achievement, whatever it is, the future you that you want to experience, the future you that you are working towards, the person you want to become, that version of you is dependent on you today, right now, listening to this, to keep the promises that you made to yourself yesterday. So if yesterday you were like, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to exercise, or tomorrow I am going to drink more water than I do soda, or I am going to do this or that, or I'm going to run these errands, or I'm going to take care of this, or I'm going to sit down and journal, or I'm going to get up early, or whatever it is that yesterday you promised to yourself, your future you, that person you want to be, the experience you want to have, is depending on you today to keep that promise. Here's the thing. We are often better at keeping promises that we make to others than we are at keeping promises we make to ourselves. So if we tell ourselves we are going to get up early in the morning and we set the alarm and all of the things, and then the alarm goes off and we're tired, we're grumpy, we don't want to, the sun hasn't even risen, the sheets are so warm, we're so comfortable, all of that, and we snooze, we turn off the alarm, we do something other than follow through on the promise that we made to ourselves. The reason that we often follow through on the promises that we make to others is because we're worried about our image. We're worried about what other people will think of us. We're worried about letting other people down. But on the other side of that, we don't seem to be very worried about what we think of us. We don't seem to be very worried about letting ourselves down. We don't seem to be worried about that as much. This week, we are not focused on keeping promises to other people. We are focusing on keeping promises to yourself. Because even though keeping or breaking a silent promise to yourself doesn't ruin the image that you have to other people, doesn't change the opinion that other people have of you, it impacts what you think of you. And what you think of you is going to impact what you do, what you try, what you attempt, how much effort you put in towards things. It actually impacts your life more than keeping or breaking promises that you make to others. So here is the interesting thing. Confidence, which is something that we all want and we all have in certain areas of life, confidence is actually directly tied to self-trust. So when you trust yourself to be able to do the thing, to figure it out, to work through it, to follow through, to do whatever, you also have the confidence behind it. When you've done something before, you have the confidence that you can do it again. When you have figured things out before, you have the confidence that you can do it again. When you have finished things before, you also have the confidence to finish things again. We often think that we need the confidence in order to make the effort, in order to try, in order to put ourselves out there. But it doesn't actually work that way. You don't need the confidence, and you can't have the confidence until you do the thing. What you need is self-trust. You need to be able to trust yourself, to be able to figure it out, to follow through, to finish the thing, to do the thing, whatever it is. We think we need the confidence. What you actually need is the self-trust. It just so happens that I was having a conversation like this very recently with a dear friend of mine whom I totally love. And she was telling me that she doesn't trust herself to do something. And so I asked her, how do you build self-trust? And she looked at me and she's like, I don't know. And I told her, you just extend yourself the opportunity to build that self-trust again and again and again. You give yourself chances to prove to you that you can follow through, that you will do it, that you can finish it, that you will do what you said you're going to do to yourself. And the interesting thing is that when I told her how to build self-trust, she was like, well, I follow through on a lot of things. I finish a lot of things. I can do a lot of things. When I make these kinds of promises to myself, I have no problem following through on that. And then I reminded her, look, you do trust yourself. Isn't that incredible? Because you had just told me that you didn't, but you do trust yourself. So now you get to widen the areas in which you trust yourself. You get to extend yourself the opportunity to build self-trust in other areas. But how you do it is very simple. You make a promise to yourself and then you keep it. The more you keep the promises that you make to yourself, the deeper your self-trust will grow. So here is your challenge for this week. I encourage you to make one little promise to yourself. Nothing grand, nothing life-altering, nothing crazy. One little promise to yourself and keep it. This could be as simple as drinking a glass of water in the morning. It could be as challenging as shower before you look at your phone. It could be taking yourself on a walk every morning. I am challenging you to specifically keep one promise to yourself in the morning. And we're going to get into why I'm encouraging you to do it in the morning later this week. There is a purpose for it, I promise you. But choose something that isn't something that you normally do. Make this promise to yourself that you are going to do it, and then follow through. Follow through on keeping that promise to yourself. Don't fall into this trap of because it was easy and simple, it's not valuable, because self-trust doesn't actually work that way. We're going to get into this at a deeper level later this week. I want you to know that simple and easy does not negate the level of meaning it carries to you or your subconscious. Simple and easy and doable is the gateway. So choose something that will make an improvement to your day, make an improvement to your morning, make that promise to yourself, and keep it. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I totally love you. Bye for now.